Hi, my name is Tanya and welcome back to my garden. It is just before 7 a.m. and I am out ready to do a tour. I have not done one since the start of December. I have my coffee. Let me have a sip. And let's get stuck into it. I have moved my dahlias down here, and really because I wanted to use up the space that they were taking up in the vegetable garden. So they're down here now. They're coming up to flower. I'll see them out our windows, so I'd probably rather them be down here. I just have to find some sources to put under the pots. These are the little traveler tomatoes that I seeded. There's another little patch there. I think I've got 3 lots of just bunches, so we'll see how they go. I've finally got to finish pruning my apple trees and I'm loving it so much better. There's so many more apples off them, like I got half a shopping bag. They didn't go to waste. I gave them to my neighbor for her chooks and they enjoyed them. That was really nice that I could pass them on to them. And we come along here, and just with all the rain, you can see the thyme has grown so much. All that light colored foliage is all new growth. It's just looking so lush and beautiful. And now we can see the owl. Not that he scares many people or things off. He just sort of sits there. We come along here and come up to the herb garden. This is one of my favorite herbs, lemon balm and the purple sage. Just so beautiful, the colors. The lemon balm has gone absolutely crazy with all the dampness. It's just, the smell is just so delicious. I've got the giant rhubarb over there in the back, which I think I'll move come winter. Some more purple sage. Along here I've got the blueberries and some strawberries, and these are not staying here for next year. I really want to move these from here because I don't think it is the perfect spot, even though we are picking the odd blueberry if we can beat the currawongs. Back here in the herb garden, got the curry plant. I think this must be a leek that's gone to flower. And another one of my favorites is lemon verbena that usually gets hit by the frost, so it sort of regrows every spring. That's the lemon balm flower. Soon it will all be flowering, and the oregano is also coming up to flower. So many little bugs. Got the pineapple sage, which is also coming up to flower. That has a bright red flower. And the alpine strawberries. Now coming up around the garden bed, come over, and I have finally moved these big pots. This one had the carrots in it that I pulled out, and I put in a mini muncher cucumber. Looking a little sad because I only planted them yesterday. And these are some Lebanese zucchinis that I had put some seed in. So there's far too many plants in the pot. I really thought they'd get eaten off by the snails, but all of them have survived. So we'll just see how that progresses. I've put some stakes in and I'm going to stake them up or tie them up to the stakes. I've come up around my little fence And this is the perennial bed that's up the top. I've got a salvia there that's going great. I'm going to take cuttings off that. And I've got the radicchio lettuce that is now gone to seed, that I was going to save seeds for, and it is flowering. It is the most beautiful flower, and it reminds me of aster flowers, but the color is quite blue. It's just so beautiful. And I managed to find a few more lupin plants, and I have stuck them in through the bed as well. I've moved the seed out, so this is a work in progress. And I have to put up a little fence to keep my doggo out because he is not so good with sight. So while things keep moving, I like to keep him out of there so he stays safe and he's not up there wandering around hurting himself. There's the rhubarb, which I picked during the week. And I also, the other week, I found these seedlings at Bunnings. And I couldn't resist, so I've put up a growing frame because I wanted to grow the spaghetti squash and the crookneck, and there's the spaghetti squash, and I had the watermelons that seeded in the big copper pot, so I wanted to put them somewhere. So they are looking really sad, and I'm not quite sure if any of them will survive, but I've put up this little growing frame. I'm layering my growing because I have quite a small space, and I'm just going to see how much I can grow in this area while layering. Hopefully they'll work out there. I've got the chamomile, and the sage has come up to flower again. It's just looking so beautiful in this light. And it's coming back from being where I cut it. And we come around here, and I think this must be a spring onion flower. And the leek flowers are the large white ones. But that pink is just such a beautiful color. Got a few smaller ones just over the back of the herb patch. And there's the big leek flowers. I have this big tin here which I keep dynamic lifter in for compost and for feeding. The comfrey plant there is really going away really strongly. And yes, I have pear slug, so I will be throwing wood ash around after this video, but I did want to film it before I start throwing that around. I've got some sage plants here, and the dahlias are really starting to flower now. All this is coming up beautiful. These colors, I think my favorite would have to be the apricot creamy colors, but all of them are beautiful. These are just little bedding dahlias. And that's a mix of the pink and the cream. I put a couple of covers over these sage plants, and that's the pomegranate, because the birds were digging out the sage plants. I've got some blood and bone ready to go out, and this is the perpetual spinach that is trying to go to seed because of the crazy weather we've had. And there's the other sage cutting that I just put in there. Now these tubs I've finally planted up. It's just a sort of bit of an overflow of whatever I had. Some of the strawberry plants that I've chopped back, and a couple more punnets of markdown. So I got some markdown capsicum and some more rainbow coloured romas. we'll just see how they go for an investment of $2. And I have some more of the traveller tomatoes that I seeded. This is a big bin that I have my compost tea in, and coming back out of that little utility area, we're back into the raspberries, and they are just about finished. We are still picking the odd few, and they are just hanging on. I think if we had have got more rain, then they would have been over and done with. We are still getting the odd couple, and we're absolutely loving that. But I think the canes for next year, we are going to have a lot of raspberries, because the new canes that have come up from the rain is just amazing. They are tall, and there are so many of them. And they're all falling over because I took the gates out to make my little fence down the bottom. This is the sweet basil that I seeded in this copper, and these are a new addition also. Here are the other traveller tomatoes and basil. I think I have 3 or 4 of those. I'm not quite sure, I can't remember. Yeah, 4. And we're back here. This was the cucumber that used to be up the top. I've taken the cover off and put a little growing trellis up, and it has taken off. There's so many little cucumbers on it. I can't wait for cucumber season. And there's another one of the, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, plus some button squash. We're on to the pumpkins. This is the wrinkled butternut. And there is a baby. Isn't it the cutest thing? I am extremely scared about my building skills of the structure, that it will hold up all of these pumpkins. But anyway, so many flowers, and there is the space that had the dahlia pots in. There's 3 spots there and one over further, and what I've planted there is spring onions. Some more flowers. These are all, and some nasturtium seeds have come up, which is a cream one, so I'm really excited to see that also. So many flowers ready to come up. Yeah, there's just a spring onion. So I've planted in all of the spots where the dahlias were. And some sunflowers. I was concerned because these were very sort of thin and leggy, but they seem to be growing quite good now. And I was concerned with all the rain, but the pumpkins seem to have coped good. And with my apple prunings, I think I'm going to put another little fence along this side. It will be in the similar spot to when I get my glasshouse up. I had planned to have a garden bed either side, so I'm hoping that the measurements will work out. This is pumpkin Jack Be Little, and it's more of a squat pumpkin. I'm not sure if it's much of a vining one. I'm not sure. And these were the climbing yellow beans that were only just coming out of the ground in my last video. And they are well and truly up and ready to climb. This is the big pumpkin. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, so I will not. That's why I put it on the screen. And I can't wait to see these. This is an heirloom pumpkin. Some more climbing purple beans that were only a couple of weeks, 3 weeks ago, I think it was, and they were only just coming out of the ground. So I think this is going to be full. Here's the other spot I had planted spring onions into. and that is the rock melon. It just with a few hot days it has taken off, and the watermelon, and this is a cucumber coming through the wire from the other side. This is the Space Master. And another watermelon at the end. We've got parsley. I found another punnet of Markdown Space Master, so I just popped those in there. It's lucky we love cucumbers. And the Dianthus Persian Carpet. I bought a couple of punnets of those just to put a bit of colour here, there and everywhere. And these are the salvia cuttings that I took just before the last video, and they seem to have all taken, or most of them. And this is the rainbow Romas. Got flowers on them, and the one just coming up has fruit on it. That's pretty exciting. I've been chopping leaves back all the time, trying to keep them pruned back because just to keep the airflow with the rain we've had. And this is the other Space Master cucumber here at the end. And some more Dianthus Persian Carpet. Now coming across this is the tag for it, and I've put a few more in here. That little salvia cutting has not taken because it was a tiny, tiny piece. This is the Tasmanian chocolate tomato plant. I've got two down this end, and they are such a strong little bush. And this is the salvia I've been taking pieces from. They take extremely easily. This is the other Tasmanian chocolate. It's got fruit on it, ready to go. And a lot of flowers. And there is one little cutting there. I took cuttings and put two in that little garden bed, and wanted to put one in each corner of the two beds. And I was having trouble with the damp on this sweet mix capsicum, but I've taken off the leaves that were affected, and hopefully that's going to come back. This is the climbing arch with the beans. This is the first lot I put in when I put the garden beds in, and they are, I think, ready to flower. I haven't seen a flower, but I think they're not far off it. As for these are a week or so behind, 2 weeks behind maybe. And the rainbow chard, and there's some more little cuttings trying to flower. I have to go around and just pluck out all those little flowers. And here's a bigger one. It's coming up to flower. And some more Persian carpet, and this tiny little piece is trying to stay alive. So we'll see how they all go, but it was all just a trial. You know, you take cuttings, it doesn't cost you anything to chop a piece and shove it in the ground. And these, I was wondering why they were so different, and then realized they're beetroot that are there. So I'm not sure how I didn't know that, but I couldn't work out why the leaves had become so speckled. Anyway, there's my little doggo. He's checking out everything. These are the eggplant. Something's been eating the leaves, but with all the dampness, I'm really not surprised. We've got a nice warm day today, so hopefully things can dry out a bit, and the slugs might disappear. I've got my beetroot planted in between each row. Now I've got the long yellow capsicum that has fruit on it, lots of flowers, another row of beetroot which is already bulbing up, so that is really fast. And there's the capsicum that was affected by the dampness, and these ones aren't looking too bad, but I think with the heat they'll come good also, but they do have fruit on them. And there they are, they're just the sweet mix. And then we're back around here to the Tasmanian chocolate tomato. So we'll go over there to the chocolate cherry tomatoes, and they are going for the sky. They are really, really tall. I'm not sure how I'm going to control that. So we've got the salvias here, and I think that's a fail, that one down there. So I should just cut a couple of pieces and throw in the spots that have died. And I've just been trimming these back, a lot of the lower leaves, and just making sure nothing's crossing each other, just to get the airflow through there. And there's the capsicum mini sweet yellow. I've got two of those, one there and one down the other end of that bed. And then in here I've got some chilies. I've got 3 plants of chilies, just a mild one. And they have flowers. Nothing has set yet, so that may be in the next couple of days, which will be quite exciting. And the San Marzano, a setting fruit. That's the other sweet mini, and it has got flowers all over it. And then we're down here to the Black Russian. There is one fruit in there that I see, but this has been the latest out of all of the tomatoes I'm growing. So that is quite interesting. There's a lot of flowers there, but it is the latest. And this was the first. Will I have these ripe before Christmas? He would like to think so. He nearly stole one the other night. My daughter stopped him. So he's keen. He can smell them and he wants some, just like us all. But there is heaps of fruit on these. So many, and I love how they're just dripping down like it's hanging in clusters. It's just so beautiful. So these are an orange tomato, so we're not needing to wait until they go completely red, but it feels like they've been at this stage for a long time. And I think that little cutting there was a fail. And to look how much the bed has dropped with so much rain. I knew it'd drop, but with all the rain. Anyway, I need to just get it through summer, and then we can top up the beds again. And there's beetroot through there. And we're back around here to the Black Russian. They have a beautiful little sunflower. It's very full. And these are the San Marzano. And it's the chili. We're just inside the arch around the other side of the bed. Got the San Marzano that is going to go up the sides of the arch, and another row of beetroot in here. And that is it for today. Thank you if you are still here. I appreciate you watching. If you would like to see more, I would appreciate you subscribing. Thank you. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye for now.